Hello, welcome to Chinwag. I'm Kim from Pooches Galore.
And I'm Carla at Completely Canine, which is now Candy Carla's.
Oh, of course, you've had a name change
I
since we last recorded. Yeah.
know.
So just as a little peek behind the curtain, I'm the one that always messes up the intro. I always have to restart. And you might be the one now that forgets your company name. Fingers crossed, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to really make a mental note of it. It's not my
Of
name.
course. Yeah. How's it gone down? Everyone kind of been
It's
quite
like
impressed with
normal
it.
because
Cool.
yeah, everyone just calls me Auntie Carla anyway. So when I put
Yeah.
the message out and I was like, guys, give me some name ideas. What do you reckon? Put it out to all my clients, and some of them were coming up with the cheesy, typical
Pooches
names.
Galore.
Yeah, just like Poochie's galore. Well, I did completely canine, it's all like dog related. And I was like, I don't want anything dog related now. I want it to be like relevant to me. And they were like, well, we just call you Auntie Carla. We've never called you completely canine. I was like, should I just call it Auntie Carla's? And they were like, yeah. So that's what I've done.
Perfect. Cool. I love the branding, but then it's pink, so
It's pink and green and
yeah,
nice colours. So it now matches my room.
that's true. If you watch on YouTube, you'll be able to see the green wall
Yes. There are, there
and
are
the green
lots of
plant.
different colours that I've worked with behind me in these
Yeah,
sessions.
it just changed quite regularly.
Yes, no longer the Big Brother chair.
No, I forgot about the Big Brother chat. Yeah, with the curtain.
Um, yeah, the curtain back when.
You'll have to watch the YouTube to understand all of these relevant topics that we
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Today we are talking about muzzle training for real life as a kind of life skill, not just for dogs who are reactive. It's
Hmm.
why we're going to put our argument forward as to why we think all dogs should be muzzle trained and all of the uses that we can possibly think of as to why dogs wear muzzles or should be trained to wear a muzzle.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately still quite a taboo thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I thought it would. I thought after sort of lockdown and with all the XL bully stuff and them sort of getting more used to wearing muzzles, I thought that it would sort of desensitize the public to muzzles, but I don't think it really has that much. And I
no,
think people with quite a lot of things is they don't want to train something unless they feel they absolutely need to, that see it as a necessity.
yeah. Okay, let's
Um,
get into it.
yeah, let's do it.
So I think all dogs should be muzzle trained in public classes, not muzzled in public classes, but muzzle trained as part
Mhm.
of puppy training. Start them young, get them used to it. If it goes dusty in a corner and you never need it, brilliant. But if they've done
Right.
it,
Yeah.
and muscle training from a dog's point of view, fun.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun game and it's
Yeah.
highly rewarding.
Yeah. Could be really, anything can be made fun
Yes,
that you teach.
I
Um,
think because people see the muzzle as a negative, they maybe think that their dog sees it as a negative as well.
yeah. I think that so I've done like bouts of it. I don't introduce muzzle training in all of my puppy groups. I don't introduce it in all of my adult dog groups. And I'm always up and down as to whether to. And I mostly sit with should, but
Yeah,
I don't always do it. But
no,
I think that it's a skill that's one of those where it's like it is a preventative measure. It's a preventative measure as in you're preventing your dog being stressed in the eventuality that they might need to wear one at the
yeah,
vets. Because as much as we all love our dogs, if they are hit by a car, if a bad thing
that
happens, if they have a seizure, if they're in shock, they're not themselves.
no,
And you are at risk and they are at risk in those moments. So, there will be times with a lot of dogs as well the vets need to do something as an emergency that you haven't planned for with your cooperative care or with whatever you're
yeah.
doing, and they need to put a muzzle on, and it's just taking off a layer of stress in that.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think if you can see a problem arising, your
Mm.
dog is really scared at the vets and is growling and snapping, that they're very worried about people or they're worried about dogs on when they're out and about. You can see that coming on and you can begin to muzzle train kind of alongside as a course of action that you can take that they
Mm.
might need to wear a muzzle. But
Yeah,
like you were just saying, in a situation where it happens out of the blue, they're hit by a car, God forbid, or they have a seizure, you haven't got time to be like, okay, so I'm just going to start desensitizing you to a muzzle now.
Let's try 3 reps. Here's a treat. You can't eat because you've had a seizure, but here's 3 treats.
Yeah. And vets, well, not all, will just put a muzzle on the dog because they have to stay safe. And I get that. But for a dog who's never been in that situation, never had anything on their face, covering their face, that is going to make a stressful situation even more stressful.
Yeah.
Whereas if they've had some form of putting their head in a cone and getting used to things being around their muzzle and working on having loads of treats in the bottom of a muzzle or licking peanut butter off it, that's going to be much less stressful.
Yeah, definitely. You never know, they might get to the vets and be like, can you put that thing on me, please?
Yeah, exactly. So whenever I work with a dog for muzzle training, and I do it a lot, is we want them to get really excited when the cupboard opens where the muzzle is, because it's really exciting to be muzzle trained.
Yeah, when I work with Bertie, so I do twice a month I do a cooperative care session with Bertie, and we always include muzzle training. And we very rarely do it up, but it's more of a, like, we get it out and you almost can't get in the way. He wants to like smash his muzzle into it, and he's like holding it there because he knows that it's like it. I think the game has just become so reinforcing that you probably could not give him a treat and he'd be like, yay, the muzzle's on my face.
Totally. And that's what it should be. That's the level. When you do it right, that is what you're looking for. You're not looking for dogs who are actively avoiding putting their nose into the muzzle, that they're kind of like trying to miss it a bit. You're wanting them to be like, how hard can I put my muzzle in the muzzle?
And the reason,
how long can I stay there for?
I think the reason for him, and something else that I was just going to discuss as well, which he sort of came up with, is the reason he's really, really easily taken to it as well is because he's done target training, scent work training, where from a very young age he was taught to nose target. So he's from puppy on Zoom online, he was doing nose targets, and then he went into scent work training where he was putting his nose inside plant pots, and he was targeting inside those, and we were doing coin targets inside things and all sorts. So now you put anything out and he'll find a way to put his nose in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of that he's doing. And one part of it is you might need to wear a muzzle one day. But it's just one part of the training. For a dog.
And the vets, because we're currently working really slowly, as you should, through cooperative care, we're not doing yet, even though it's been a while, the putting the muzzle on to go to the vets. It's at the minute. We're doing veterinary work, we're going in and out of the space, we're doing muzzle training at home. But he has, in that time we've been doing it, had the vets put their muzzle on him ready to take him in so we don't ruin it. And he's come back out and we've tested resilience and he's straight back nose into his muzzle. Like, he's desperate. So having those foundations means that if you do have to have a muzzle on them, they're not going to be freaked out forever because this muzzle was put on. He's got such a positive bank of pennies.
I was just going to say that bank account is so full that the withdrawal will not hit it as hard.
Yeah, definitely.
I think also that we have to remember that dogs wear muzzles for a variety of reasons. And I would say my number one reason for muzzle training a dog is actually for the scavengers, for the dogs who are likely to ingest harmful things on walks. Or eat poo. I don't tend to use it for that, predominantly, in the most disgusting way. Not very effective.
No, and it's a bit disgusting.
A bit grim. But
and
people do.
Who will fit through?
It squidges through.
It's like mashing potato.
It's not going to work. But people do use it for that. But the scavengers, the dogs who are going to eat items on walks that are dangerous. They wear muzzles a lot.
And you do, like, obviously there's some breeds like your greyhounds as well. You do, if they're rescue greyhounds, like, they have, you know, a long history potentially of chasing moving things more than others. And it's more of just an extra safety security blanket if something happens and they pull out and they're, you know, they're in the environment. It's safety for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also think as well, whenever I see a dog wearing a muzzle, I think, oh, what great dog owner, like what really
Yeah.
proactive dog owners that they've taken the time to confidently train their dog to wear the muzzle and to have that layer of protection for their dog, other dogs, people, whoever it might be,
Yeah.
to ensure that they can still have happy walks, they can still enjoy the environment, but they just wear a muzzle.
Yeah. Especially so when you see the dog in a muzzle and just chilling,
Yeah,
like
like
sniffing, like it's nothing
yeah,
happening.
like I've got my harness on, I've got my muzzle on, I go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like from the dog's point of view, there's not really any difference.
Yeah.
I have got a happy dog episode with Clara who set up the muzzle movement, and she set it up predominantly because there were no nice looking muzzles on the market, and I think that's a huge part of the stigma as well. Is
Yeah.
that a lot of the muzzles are very Hannibal Lecter.
But they were
They're
so
not.
Hannibal Lecter. Have you seen the Frenchy ones and the
Yeah,
the flat-faced dog ones? They are
yeah,
awful.
they are awful. Kind of beige that is just it's the worst color known to
Mm.
mankind, or black.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very long time. Those were your options.
Yeah.
And I should have done it, but I always used to say to people, even if they just made a baby blue and a baby pink one, like if they just made those two colors and nothing more, they would be 100 times better.
Yeah. I agree. And
I think,
now the muzzle movement. Oh my
oh,
God.
they're so pretty.
I don't have a dog at home and I
I
want a muzzle.
still want one. Yeah, but they do help remove the stigma. And I'm sure she was there. I can't remember her dog's name, which I'm sure she's got a male XL bully,
Mm.
and her male dog wears a baby pink muzzle.
Oh,
And I was like, I love that.
yeah.
And it does help reduce the stigma, and it does help people have a more positive interaction with that dog who's wearing a muzzle
Yeah.
instead of them being, oh, they've got a muzzle on, they're scary and
Mm.
dangerous.
Mm.
Then they're not thinking, that's not their first thought about it,
Yeah. And
which I
it's
think is really important.
yeah, and it's like which muzzles you use as well. So
Yeah,
with Bertie with his training, we're still like getting to the point where we're trying to make sure we've got a muzzle that fits him. He's tiny, he's a little terrier, so the muzzle
okay.
movement ones don't fit yet,
No,
unfortunately. But we're looking, there are a few other companies we're working through. But in the meantime, while we're doing the desensitization, we're using the Baskervilles, which are
yeah,
rare and they're not the prettiest. But
no,
actually for
but
the function
effective.
of the practice, they're
Yeah,
absolutely fine. But it's when you see the mesh
yeah,
muzzles and stuff, which are totally not recommendable
no.
ever for
So it's
anything.
never anything. It is really, well, it's really important when you're choosing a muzzle for your dog. If aesthetics are not a part of your thought process, absolutely not a problem. Like there's nothing wrong with the beige and black ones. They are effective muzzles, and that's the
Mm.
most important thing. But it's really important that your dog can pant, eat, drink, and vomit whilst wearing their muzzle.
Yeah.
If that is the main and only real consideration. Anything over and above that, fab. The
Mm.
mesh ones that trap the dog's mouth shut don't allow for those four things, and dogs can still bite with them on,
Yeah.
and they can still scavenge if they really
Yeah.
wanted to.
It's just more
So,
stress. Like
and it's yeah,
I always say to people like if they're trying them on them and they're fine, I'm like, well, yeah, but when your dog's stressed, their mouth's going to be at the widest
yeah,
that it ever is, and they're going to need to pant.
yeah,
So it makes me so sad that so many groomers still use mesh muzzles
yeah,
because that is up there with probably one of the top stressful things that a dog
yeah,
can go through if they're a stressed dog.
yeah, absolutely. And also, if you have got a stress dog, you probably want to do some training with them,
Yeah,
and you probably therefore want to use food.
yeah,
Um, and that might be scattering food, and they should still be able to pick that up. Um, I tend to recommend the Blue Cross training video for muzzle training because it's just really well done,
yeah,
and it's
it
the
is.
same methods that I would use. And they cut one of the posts out so that it's easier to deliver treats through the Baskerville muzzle. So there's hints and tricks. I tend to use squeezy cheese just
Yeah,
because it's easy and it gets messy and they can lick the inside of the muzzle. So I'm also reinforcing that positiveness as well. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I think what we have to think about is um, comfort and the dog's ability to do natural behaviors. Obviously, we don't want them vomiting. We don't want them vomiting in a
We
muzzle.
don't want
If they're
them
going to the
vomiting.
vets in the muzzle, they might be ill. They might be vomiting and they might still
Yeah.
need to, but they still need to be able to. They still need, and if you've ever seen a dog vomit, they open their mouth real wide.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's
They,
like
like,
exorcism level now.
yeah, absolutely. So it is important to bear that in mind when you're choosing the muzzle.
I feel like in my head I had a muzzle here, but I don't think I have one. I was just gonna bring it on camera.
Oh.
It's not here. No, all good.
But yeah, I think I mean, personally, I'm an aesthetic. We talked about this before, haven't we, when we've done
You are so
equipment and stuff.
aesthetic.
I'm
Yeah.
all about the aesthetic. I'm all about having things that are pretty and nice and coordinated. And so I'm quite glad now that there is more on the market that I can lean into
And match.
and match. Yeah, absolutely. But I think what instead of using muzzle training as a reactive piece of training, my dog has started to do this, and so now I need to muzzle train them. It's about being proactive with it and thinking, actually, if my dog is halfway there already and they're kind of used to putting their nose into a cone, or if you've got a muzzle around, because they're not cheap, so you don't necessarily want to go out and buy a muzzle if you don't 100% need one. Is there a way that you can create something that's similar, that you can just get your dogs used to putting their nose into and being rewarded for that, so that if you do need to step up to full muzzle training, you've done some foundation stuff, and if you have an anxious and stressed dog, you're not starting kind of from scratch. And also, if they've been in a situation like at the vets or at the groomers where it has been put on them without any training, you're almost starting from even further back than
-0.
Yeah, you've taken all of the money out and some extra. And you've got to rebuild all of that trust back up.
Yeah. And like we said as well, you don't have to start with muzzle either. You can start with a plant pot. You start with a yogurt pot. Yogurt pot is the best thing ever. If you literally just throw some treats in the bottom of the yogurt pot, or even leave some yogurt in the bottom of the yogurt pot.
Or just don't eat the last bit of the yogurt.
And just let your dog stick their nose in and just get used to having things around their nose and that kind of closeness.
Yeah, absolutely. We buy like large pots of peanut butter, and we always give him the tub when it's done. And we're quite frugal, so we're pretty much all taken out. But there's always some left, and he gets so excited by that. And that he doesn't necessarily know the difference between that peanut butter tub and a muzzle. He's just like, if I put my nose into something, there's generally good stuff. But yeah,
he's also quite a simple man, so he's
very simple. Simple is very much Stanley's.
Nose, face, peanut butter.
If there's food, he's all in. Doesn't matter what it is.
Bless him.
Yeah, bless. So you can start, and with yogurt pots, there's also obviously different sizes, so you can pick a size that's a bit more appropriate for your dog, whether it's a little tiny kids one or a larger pot. So there are so many things you've probably got in your recycling bin that you can use to introduce that feeling of something covering their muzzle, and then if you do that regularly, you can step that up.
We also used sellotape rolls as well. Get them because it sort of touches around a bit more.
The other thing that I find that dogs struggle with the most is the clip, because it tends to be really close to their ear where it ends up clipping together. And so just finding that kind of clip fastening, I'm sure it's probably got an official name, but I don't know what that is, that kind of buckly clip thing. And just getting them used to hearing that quite close to their ear, and you can just condition it with closing it and then feeding a treat, so they get used to that as well. Can be another step that gets them used to a noise that's quite loud next to their ear, which is good for life. But also, if you do need to clip that muzzle on, you've already gone, you hear this noise, good things happen.
We did this with Bertie as well. So we actually clicker trained him for scent work. So click and treat was also a thing that he'd already patterned in, and then we did muzzle clip treat, muzzle clip treat, muzzle clip treat, and we repeated it. And so the muzzle clip replaced the sound of the clicker in training, so he was more conditioned to that sound. And yeah, now he can have it on, the clips go on, and he's got a release cue. So the end of activity cue's like been absolute fire for him. So if anyone wants to learn more about how to do that, just contact either of us, and I'm sure we can help with the cooperative care side of things because we can both do it. But yeah, it's yeah, you don't have to start big, but just starting with thinking about, in the future, any possible situation, if I can get my dog even a bit desensitized to
Yeah,
it and doing something, it's really
yeah.
helpful.
And because a lot of the time when I'm speaking to people, I'm like, so I think we need to muzzle train your dog. And if we do all this work and we never need it, that's great. But if we're proactive with it and we've done most of the work, it will make life so much easier. And people can be really resistant to it, and they can
Yeah,
be. And I do get it. I do totally understand it because it is stigmatized and people feel like bad dogs wear muzzles. But I actually think the good dogs and good dog owners are the ones that wear the
yeah,
muzzles. And
yeah.
so just try and think of it that way. So if your trainer or behaviorist ever suggests it, lean into it,
Mm.
find the joy in it, because I think it's nice, easy watching TV kind of dog training is muzzle training. It's not
Yeah.
super accurate, it's not super complicated, it is
Mm.
just repetitive and high value rewards, and just allow your dog to learn that it's fun to wear a muzzle,
Yeah.
and it'll just help in so many different ways.
Yeah, and I think if we all do it as trainers, then
Yeah,
we can sort of
becomes more
help to
normal.
desensitize humans and normalize
Yeah.
it for everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the trickier end of the lead at sometimes, because the
Yeah.
dogs genuinely don't care,
They
and
don't
they
they
don't
don't
look
know
at
it's a muzzle. No.
no, and they don't look at other dogs and go, oh, the dog's wearing a muzzle. Oh my god,
Yeah.
like they just don't care.
Well, they're like, oh, what's that on your face?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that tastes of peanut butter or cream
Yeah.
cheese or whatever it is that
Wish
you've
I
been
had one
using. Yeah,
in pink.
in pink, always in pink.
Always in pink.
So yeah, but if you're struggling or you're not sure where to find muzzles, check out the Muzzle Movement, because not only are the muzzles really well made, they are nice colours. You can kind of customize them a little bit yourself,
Mm.
um, but they are size wise. I know she's focusing more on the bigger dogs because of the XL Bully ban, and that's where the company came from. But I think the more people look at different sizes, the bigger the range. It's already expanded hugely in just the year or two that she's been
Yeah,
going.
it's been
So
absolutely huge. Yeah.
yeah, she's done amazingly. So check out the Muzzle Movement, because on their website as well they have loads of how-to videos and how to size them and all of that. So
Yeah. If we
loads of
link it in,
information.
we've got a, I don't, you might have
Yeah,
one as well. We've got a 10% discount link for them.
yeah,
We can
I'll
put
have it.
ours in there.
Yeah, we'll look. Cool.
Amazing.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.